Welcome back. Well, yes, as you've seen, the Mascot Uzor-Kalu joins us next. He is the governorship candidate for APP in Abia State. Thank you for coming on, and good morning.
Thank you. Thank you, Chamberlain. Thank you, Mohammed.
You know, just so many things just playing itself out in the country as it is now, from security to economy. We just talked about some data that people can use for development. And, you know, you just wonder, especially now that we're approaching general elections, there's so many items, issues that, depending on, you know, what side of the divide that you're on, that will really stick out and people want to address. But for you, going into elections at this time, I just wonder, do you consider any, because this time many will say is quite unique and a lot more challenges for those who are seeking political offices, what they will face. Are you faced by any of this? What makes you think, yes, I want to throw my hat into all of this, seeing what's going on?
Well, the problem is a problem that's been caused over the years, and it's one that requires people or individuals who have the skills to be able to handle governance. Government has passed the time where we use friends or well wishes to actually run government. We need people who understand the challenges that the country is facing and be able to bring policies that will tackle those challenges. And that's part of the problem that we have right now. We are not bringing policies to tackle problems, and we are not also looking at for the problems we have today, what problems they could create tomorrow. So we're not addressing the issues and we're not planning for tomorrow. That's the reason why we are where we are now.
What is your assessment of where we are now, the impression in terms of, are we at the point where you think we understand, or political leadership understand, that we actually need to get people who can do these things to come in, not just for the sake of politicking, as it were?
Well, we're still not there because you still have a lot of people who don't have a clue of what the problems they're going to be faced in governance, also want to aspire to be governors. I want to be inspired to be in different positions. People think it's still the same day of grandizing, but we are faced with real problems within our nation. We need to be able to put in policies that will address the today problem and then start addressing the future. The problem is that all these years, we were not putting in policies to address the future. So everything has come in. The global economy has come in and everything is being faced, and Nigeria is suffering a lot from it. So we need to change that policy. We can no longer have friends and well-wishers occupy positions of authority.
Is this when you say we're not there, is it a function of followerships, docility, or those who occupy those positions just being dictatorial, not wanting to let their positions off, just holding on to whatever they have, no matter what it costs them?
I think it's having a lot of people who are clueless to what they need to do, being in position of authority. We're not planning. We don't have any blueprints as to what we want to do. There's nothing. So it's like we're faced with problems of today, and we're trying to solve problems of today, and we're not planning for the problems of tomorrow. And the problems that we see today, we're not realizing if they're not corrected on time, what other problems they'll generate too. So we're not planning for the future, we're not planning for today. And that's the problem we're having.
Well, you are no stranger to politics. I'm sure most people who look at your name will be wondering, are you related to former governor of Abia State, who's currently a senator, Uzor-Kalu? And obviously you are, that's correct?
That's correct.
He's your elder brother, isn't he?
That's correct.
And I know that you also served with him when he was in office as governor.
No, I did not.
You didn't? You weren't his chief of staff?
I was chief of staff to Governor T.O.G.
Okay, interestingly. So you are no stranger to the system.
Yes.
And I think only recently you decamped from the All Progressives Congress.
That's correct.
So if that is the situation, the ideas which you currently hold, are they born out of your experience from what you have seen being so close to the corridors of power?
Well, both. I was a returnee. Governor T.O.G. returned me from the United States. I'm probably the youngest ever appointed chief of staff. I was barely about 30 years when he appointed me. I'm also would say I'm the only one who I can beat my chest that resigned, willing and ready to follow.
Mr. Uzor-Kalu, the electorate has heard the same words over the years. I promise I'm going to bring change, and the getting there, it would seem like I didn't know things were this bad and all of that. So making promises may not be enough for the people. We've heard that over the years, and of course you are also aware of that. So in terms of making promises, it's one thing. Getting the promise done, that's another thing. There's some persuasion needed by the people to be assured that you, though not on one of the main political platforms, as my colleagues have pointed out to you, you have a more Herculean task.
Of course, by no means am I saying having the opportunity on a smaller party to run for governor is not a very hectic decision. It is one, but it's one that I'm prepared and I'm ready to do. I knew what the odds were before I chose it, and I'm very much prepared for the job. When you talk about confidence, like I said, the Abia people know me, and they know when I was there as chief of staff, there was no single request that they brought, either by demonstration, by letter, that it was something brought by the group, either through the union, that I did not make sure that the governor addressed. So at some level, they do have that confidence in me based on my past record. And based on that, I do not have any doubt that we will make a good governor.
All right, well, you know, looking at how all of this is playing out, you say you're very confident, no thanks to BVAS and the electoral system, which you, from what you've seen, you think that can give you some props. But looking at the way things are, in Osun State, for instance, in spite of the economy, 375,000 odd votes, people voted for the APC, even though they lost. So it still tells you that, well, if you think you understand the voters, you may not.
Well, each state is peculiar. The Osun governor may not have lost because he did not do so well as a governor. And remember, it's his re-election. It's not like you're bringing a new candidate. So in Abia...
So he had a lot more, he's supposed to have a lot more advantage.
Yes, but he may have been voted out because they had more, he didn't do as well as they wanted him to do. As the sitting governor, he will have a lot of followers. In Abia, it's different. We're all new to government. None of us have governed. So we have to now sell what our ideas or what we're going to do to the people. So it's going to be different from Osun.
Pardon my asking, is your brother in support of this? How is your brother taking your ambition?
Well, it's neither here nor there. I'm allowed to forge ahead and do what I want to do.
Because I was going to ask him, politics, you people say it's a game of interest.
Yes.
It means he may or may not support you, or is blood going to be thicker than water here?
Well, we will see at that time. I am running to win, so I'm sure at some point, yeah, I will persuade him to support me. But we'll see what happens. Either way, there's no love lost, there's no anger, there's no quarrel in the family that I'm running on the different platform. Before I left the party, I made sure he understood my grievance, and I had a chance to speak with a lot of the top people in the party, and I told them, I don't have a problem with APC, but I just haven't been treated well. So I and my followers are going somewhere else to forge ahead.
But this technically sounds like an independent candidature, because
well,
you're a new party, relatively unknown in the States. You don't have all those, what they call them, structure.
Yes.
How do you plan to pull this?
No. I do have the structure.
Oh.
I have the structure. Within the state, as it stands today, we're about, actively in the state, about 120 days. We have over 10,000 members. We have over 10,000 members. We have all the political positions filled up with serious candidates. I have my 24 House of Assembly members running, serious candidates. So we do have the structure.
Well, even though you say that you're all new, but you've forgotten that the ruling party in the state has a candidate. So technically, You all
Yeah,
may
but
not
the
be
ruling
that
party,
new.
the ruling party is going to be running based on the record of the soon-to-be predecessor. So that's the record we're going to be attaching to him. That's the record he's going to be running on, because that's the record he has to work on, and that's the record he has to promote from. So, and if those, as long as Abians don't like that record, anybody else can become governor.
All right, you heard it. We'll see how that plays out. And the mascot, Uzor-Kalu, says he's the candidate with the most in Abia. Well, thank you very much and all the best.
Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, Mohammed.